All right, welcome to episode number 6. This is our first requested match from Greater Kansas City Regional. This is 3 versus 6, quarterfinal 8, or the second time that these two matches or two alliances played against each other. So we're going to take a look at that. As a reminder, if you guys want a um, match review that you're particularly interested in, either specifically around your team or just in general, let me know and we can take a look at it. Okay, so first let's just talk about the autonomous setup. We see that Red Alliance is stacked, which is kind of interesting here. That looks like 1982 over here, and it's really hard to see who that guy is. We see 1939 in the center, 2353 here, and 5119. No autonomouses like we've seen before at a little bit higher level events where these game objects are being contested, so it's potentially possible for a alliance to make their way all the way down to pick up those game objects like so, and then do an 8-ball autonomous like that. A little bit easier, but we'll see what ends up happening here. Okay, wow. So that's kind of what I was looking for, a feeding autonomous. We see 1982. They look like they have a low gold dumper. They dump it into the intake of who I believe now is 3928. Um, and now 4499 is going to make their way down this direction. Let's go back and just take a look at the blue side. Great shooting. And we have a low goal robot attempt. Though they're not going to score an autonomous. These guys try and pick up, not quite. And 44.99 getting a nice 3-ball at the end. Okay, so we immediately see 1939. They are making their way across the field to pick up. 51.19, who seems to be the other primary scorer for blue, is picking up from the trench. Meanwhile, we see 44.99, one of the primary scorers for red. Looks like they're going to the human player station, while 3928 is going to clear up these game objects and finish that off. We'll see what defense comes in here. So yeah, not really a fan of how 1982's positioning when you're waiting for a defense or waiting as a defender to try and play defense. What you want to be doing is you kind of want to park where in their path. That way you don't have to move very much. So them kind of idling over here has allowed 2353 to kind of harass them, which probably means that 1939 is going to be able to make a quick, easy path this direction after they're done loading up. But at the same time, they are preventing 3928 from getting scored on. So perhaps that is a winning strategy there. They are preventing one of their main scorers from being blocked out. Okay, so 44.99 is running back. Nice shooting from 44.99. Really impressive. Okay, this is awesome. So 1939, first long shot of well, viable long shot perhaps, attempt in eliminations. Most teams gave up on it for limbs, so interesting to see how this is going to go. And they are currently missing, unfortunately. These guys may be dead, or they're just not moving. 3928 getting caught up on balls. What? Are they dead too? So yeah, we do see that these guys were dead right here. Oh, and they've actually been maybe pushed into the zone. Uh, looks like very intentionally, actually. Yep, so that's a tech foul violation of forcing a penalty on another robot, or maybe it is a foul, I'm not sure. Regardless, it's a penalty. You don't want to be pushing dead robots into zones to make them force them to take penalties. That was, in my eyes, pretty clearly pushing this direction into the zone, forcing them to take a penalty. And I'm assuming that's who he flagged. Let's just make sure. Yeah, waving red. Okay, that makes sense. So, because they're incapacitated, you can't force them to take penalties. For example, pushing them into a zone where they're likely to get a bunch of fouls. 44.99 is also probably going to make their way down here, right? So they could. I'm not sure how that works, but it could potentially get read another foul because they try and shoot from here, right? So pushing them out of the way, they would cause that issue. But 44.99 appears to be dead here, which is unfortunate for the Red Alliance. They do have a pretty big lead. Oh, another hit. So that is another violation of the forcing a robot to take penalties, and another one. So possibly 3 tech fouls here. That's really not good. Yeah, so that has really boosted Blue Alliance's score to be in this. 44.99's up. Oh, and another one. Wow. Okay. So it could be also that Red Alliance hasn't communicated that this robot got pushed in. Another one. Wow. Okay. This is an interesting reffing stance. Oh, maybe they're reversing where the fouls are coming? I don't know. The refs are clearly deliberating. All right, let's go back and talk about the stuff that wasn't the fouls. So 39.28 picking up game objects. 44.99 can't really get into shooting position. And they're nervous about getting fouls. It seems like they're noticing that, so they're just trying to get somewhere. Kind of driving aimlessly here. Um, yeah, wow. Okay, so they're really confused clearly by the fouls. Don't really know what to do. They're going to end up just going for the climb. Let's head back over here. Look at some of what else is going on. 51.19 trying to pick up game objects. Really good shooting from them. The score is all over the place. People are adding and subtracting tech fouls and trying to figure out what's going on. We see 1939 really early looking for the climb. Seems kind of weird, I guess, unless they're not confident in their climb, but they climb super early. It's probably not needed. And then a park. Oh, I guess that's their only climbing robot. This is dangerous to be over this edge for 44.99. Ooh. Do they touch? Yeah, you really don't want to be extending into the opponent's zone at all during the last 30 seconds, even if it is for a climb, because you can give another robot a free climb if they're touching the bar, and they don't even have to be climbed, and it bounces, right? So really, you just don't want to go past this line. It's not a good idea. It's not worth it. Yeah, looks like they missed their climb. Double climb on the Red Alliance, though, so that should be plenty to get them in. Okay. So, yeah. So they received 15 points, so they got one tech foul. And then this is going to be what? Are there's a bunch of fouls? Because flag got waved like 3 or 4 times. Uh, it could be 3 tech fouls and 1 foul. Let's quickly take a look at C, whatever that is, at first. Yeah, really interesting. That really gave blue the edge, or like a lot closer than it should have been for sure. Um, but definitely the foul here is forcing an opponent to take a penalty, which is definitely not good. Okay. So S rules, C rules. Uh, huh. Okay. Well, I'm not seeing it immediately, but there is a rule for that. Anyways, interesting match. I'll work it out and put it in the description. But yeah, definitely seems to be like they called a bunch of fouls on red for this incident right here, pushing them in, forcing them to take a foul, and then because they continually hit them like 3 or 4 times, um, that turns into more tech fouls against the Red Alliance, giving Blue Alliance a bunch of points that made the match way closer. So, yeah, that's definitely what happened. I'm not sure where the 3-point foul came from. Maybe it's from the like holding too many balls or something. But yeah, uh, interesting match. Definitely want to be careful about doing this kind of thing, and it's really definitely hard for teams like 4499 in 1982 to pay attention to that kind of thing, right? Um, because they don't really necessarily know that 2353 is dead, or that they were pushed into this zone, right? So your natural reaction is to, um, come and hit them, right? Because in the rules it says regardless of whoever initiates the contact, then you are, you're fine. So you get free 15 points. So both of these teams kind of almost rush over to hit them. 4499 is dead for a long time, but yeah, here they both go and try and hit them. So that's 1, and that's 2. So those are your 3 tech fouls probably, and then there's one other extra foul. So yeah, okay, wow, interesting match. Thanks for submitting it, and we'll have a couple more videos out very shortly.